that got introduced late that I'm kind of disappointed that she got introduced late. Katana.
Yeah.
Didn't really get
and they
too
just
much
kind of
fun
like,
there.
oh, hey, this is Katana. She's my bodyguard. She'll kill you really quick.
It's like, why is she there?
Her husband's in a sword.
Yeah, her soul, or the sword
Let's
sucks
get
the soul
more
out.
about that, please.
I would love a Katana movie.
I think it would be
great.
great.
The girl they got playing her, it's her first movie. Her very first movie ever.
Wow.
Really?
She did a great job.
They should do a Birds of Prey movie, is what they should do. Black Canary, Huntress, Katana, fighting some other...
Katana's not a bird,
Katana's not a bird. It's a
no,
sword.
she's in the Birds of Prey, though.
know.
Like, in the comics.
She'll just
She's
wear a
sword.
bird outfit.
She's a sword bird, guys.
I hate to say this. I'm done talking about it.
Okay.
Like, Suicide Squad for me is just... It's over with and done with. I'll probably pick it up on Blu-ray when it's on sale.
So, out of 10.
That's right. 6.5.
Yeah, 6.5.
Okay, so 6.5 for Dallin, 6.5 for Scott. I give it a 7.5 just because for one reason, and that's that they introduced magic without any bullshit.
That's
without any, this is just science you don't understand, and then later on we'll introduce Doctor Strange, which is actual magic. It's, nope, she's a witch. Oh, you mean like turn you into a toad? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all there is to it.
Witch.
Yep.
Speaking of moving on, let's move on. Dallin, you saw Pete's Dragon.
I did.
And what did you think of Pete's Dragon?
So I'm in the minority here. Rotten Tomatoes says this is a new Disney classic, and I say that's bullshit. This movie sucks. I gave it 1 star. I was absolutely
out of 10,
miserable. Out of 10, I was
Holy
absolutely
crap.
miserable in that movie. It takes so long to get going. I was like a 3-year-old in my chair fidgeting around, making noises. I was like, oh, what's in my wife's purse? Let's see if there's some candy in here because I'm fucking bored. It was horrible. The only reason I give it 1 star, I would give it 0 star. The reason I give it a 1 star is the dragon looks fantastic, and that's because Weta Workshop's involved, and they made a great dragon.
Weta Workshops does amazing work.
Do either of you remember the original?
Yeah,
much.
I
hardly remembered it all. So
I watched it
when I heard about this movie. I wasn't super excited for it, just because I don't feel like Pete's Dragon was this awesome, amazing thing,
right.
and I don't remember it. But I have friends that love it, and they were just absolutely stoked. I don't know what they thought of it because I haven't talked to them.
Yeah.
They just waited too long to do this. Nobody cares anymore. It's kind of like what you're saying. You don't remember it. I've watched it, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and it's nothing like the original. So that I give them merit for that. They didn't try and redo the same story. They have a complete new story arc. Characters are pretty much the same. But I was just bored. There was no reason for this movie to even come out. It was just
the only thing I remember about Pete's Dragon is the fact that it was a mixture of live animation and
Mary Poppins style.
Yeah. Roger Rabbit style.
Yeah.
That's the first one that popped into my head.
I'm going to give it a out of 10 because I haven't seen it yet.
Shrug.
So,
A shrug out of 10.
Yeah, and maybe I was just in a bad mood when I saw it. I don't know. You can go see it, judge for yourself. If you're going off my review, I say skip it. Wait till Redbox. It's okay.
Let us know.
It's boring, though.
Yeah.
I don't know how they tote this as a family film, because if I can't sit through it, a 5-year-old's not going to sit through it. It's boring as hell. So.
You have the attention span of about a 5-year-old.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And then Scott and I went and saw Sausage Party that same weekend.
Yes.
The other
Instead
movie
of
that
Pete's
came
Dragon.
out instead of Pete's Dragon. And I'm not really sure what to expect from that movie or what I expected from it, but it wasn't what I got.
I was expecting something different, but now that I look back on it, I shouldn't have.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
it's exactly what it should be.
It's a Seth Rogen and James Franco movie, and I've seen their other movies, and I know exactly their type of humor. And I'm not saying this is bad.
No.
I thought it was hilarious.
It is hilarious.
It's very raunchy, very, very adult. This is not for your kids.
Spoiler alert, there's a food orgy at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Like a full-on and I'm not talking like an orgy with food. It's like an orgy where everybody is food.
Yeah.
So I guess technically an orgy with food.
Yeah.
But they're all food. It's really weird. Like the whole movie just kind of throws you for a loop, but at the same time it's hilarious.
There's a lot of anti-religious stuff in it, so if you are easily offended about that kind of thing, don't see it because you will not like it.
Yeah. Which we watched it in a theater full of people from Utah, which is really I was kind of thinking like, how many people are getting?
I didn't see anyone walk
up?
out, so no one got offended enough.
I
to
thought
leave.
I saw a few people leave, but I don't know if they came back.
I don't think any Mormons went to this anyways. It's rated R.
That's true.
So
That's true.
There.
Yeah, there was probably a lot of
it's definitely rated
Jack
R.
Mormons,
Definitely
at
not
least.
for kids. I'm gonna give it like a 7.5 out of 10, just because
I'm gonna give it about a 7.
It was pretty damn funny, and I could watch it again. There were some parts in it that I'm like, What? Oh, and
would you do
if
that?
you know me at all, if I'm the one like face palming and going, "Oh man, that's bad," it was pretty bad. So, but again, it was not something I expected. Although I should have expected it, just because James Franco and Seth Rogen.
Yeah, obviously.
You know?
So now it is time for our final review. Again, Dallin hasn't seen this movie, and Scott and I get to convince him to go see it because Kubo and the Two Strings is a fantastic movie.
It is amazing. Absolutely amazing.
The visuals are great. The music is great. I mean, the kid... So basically, what the basic plot of this movie is, this mother takes her son away from her father and her sisters to escape a terrible fate for him. The reason is because the grandpa wants both of his eyes, and he's already taken one. So the main kid, as a baby, has already got an eye patch on, which you know that kid's going to grow up to be a badass, right? That's just how eye patches work.
Yeah.
And then as they're escaping, she hits her head on a rock. Like within the first 5 minutes of the movie, you get to see her hit her head on a rock.
Yeah, and there's a bunch of blood, and
Yeah, and
she's
you're just
underwater.
Like, holy crap!
Wow.
Yeah, and so she gets her mind gets messed up, and he ends up taking care of them as he gets older. He goes into the village, and he uses this magic that he has and his mom has, where he plays on this Japanese guitar, and he can make paper mache, or not paper mache. He can make origami fold itself and come to life. And that's his basic magic. And he has to get back before dark because otherwise his grandpa will see him, because his grandpa is the moon, by the way.
Yeah, the Moon King.
The Moon King, yeah.
Charlize Theron
Yep.
plays his mom and the monkey later.
Yep.
Okay.
And then Matthew McConaughey plays Beetle.
Yep.
And you'll see that person in there.
He's a really good character.
Which usually you'd think...
All right.
And he does not do that at
it's
all.
surprising. Like Matthew McConaughey was really good in this movie.
I had to lean over and Corey and go, who the hell is that? What voice is that? And Corey went, that's Matthew McConaughey. And it's like, what? No.
Yep.
Oh.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The bad guy, Moon King, played by surprise, Ralph
Fiennes.
Oh,
Fiennes?
Ray
Yep.
Fiennes. Yeah.
Ray Fiennes, thank you.
Yeah.
The Voldemort.
Ralph.
Or Voldemort. Ralph?
Yeah, it's
I
Ralph.
think it's written Ralph, but he's like French or something, and it becomes Ray or something.
Well, it's Ralph. So
You're Ralph in
it's
our
Ralph.
book. Yep.
Okay, he's Ralph.
Yep. Throw up fiends.
Voldemort, basically.
Voldemort,
Yes.
no-nos.
There's
Yeah.
it's a Japanese movie, so there's the obligatory George Takei. Oh my! in it.
Yes. And that's a really good part too. And they really play it very well. All of the music that the kid plays is beautiful. I mean, the visuals are, again, they're just great. This is the same company, Lakai?
Yeah, I think
Laika
or something like
yeah,
that.
who did Box Trolls, Paranorman.
Oh, I love those.
Coraline. Yeah, and
That's it.
Technically, they did Corpse Bride too.
Did they?
Yeah, they were the ones who
Okay.
worked on Corpse Bride.
Oh, this is like some of my favorite movies. So
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And they did the animatronics on this. And if you remember back at the end of Box Trolls, they did kind of a how we did the animatronics thing as
Yeah.
they're talking, and they're showing the people working and everything like that. Well, they did this in this movie too, but in a different way that makes you go, "That's so cool how they did that particular scene." If you're a D&D fan, you will love this because it is basically a small adventure complete with dungeons, magic weapons and armor, strange plot twists, dream sequences,
Demogorgon?
traps. A Demogorgon, probably. One of those can be considered a Demogorgon.
I'm gonna 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
I really.
Wow.
I mean,
I'm
I'm very.
It is
very
very
picky
close.
with like near perfect. It is nearly perfect. I have thought about it for all of today,
Yep.
and I cannot find a single thing about it that I did not like,
Yeah.
that I did not enjoy.
I can, but that's just because I'm not a big fan of the power of love as a plot device.
Okay,
But that's
no,
just
but
me.
it's the power of music saves the
It's
day.
true, yeah. It's the power of music, and it's the power of like togetherness, though. Like that's the whole idea, is that their spirits live on, and we love them and everything. But anyway,
but he brings it all to
Yeah.
fruition with music.
and the villain gets taken out in a surprising way.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Can't tell. Can't
Yes.
tell you.
Yeah, don't tell.
yeah,
Otherwise there'd be
exactly. We can't
spoils.
spoil this one, but you should really go see it. I'm going to give it 10 out of 10 too. I think it might be my favorite animated movie this year, and that's with Zootopia, which I really
even
like.
against
Yeah.
Utopia. Okay.
Yeah,
The
even
way
against it.
the way they handled Kubo. Okay, he's a young boy, probably supposed to be in his 10 to 12 range.
Yep.
Maybe 10 to 14. The way they handle him is the whole town that he's in, the village, normal children in stories, they people just ignore them. They kind of like, they're kids, they're dumb, they don't know
saying
what they're
these,
doing.
Yeah, weird things. Whatever.
Get away from me, kid! You're stupid.
Uh-huh.
This whole town is enthralled with him.
Yeah.
They love him. They think it's amazing that he comes in and he tells his stories and does his magic.
Yeah,
and they treat him, even though he's poor.
Yeah.
You know, and he's doing it for scraps. They treat him fantastically, so he's not shunned by anyone.
And
in
all
town.
of them are super sad when he has to leave.
He also didn't do the typical kid stuff when he's going through his quest. He didn't, oh, I don't know. Oh, what? I'm gonna just sit in a corner and cry.
Yeah.
He was just like, I got this quest.
Yeah.
I got to go do it.
I got to do it,
and I'm gonna be awesome at it. So 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Go see it if you haven't seen it.
Go see it. I'm gonna go
amazing.
see it with Casey. I gotta take her to go see that again. Probably
I'm gonna go
Sunday morning.
I'm gonna go buy. I'll probably buy the Blu-ray when it comes out, or maybe even like a collector's
Which is
edition
great
if they got
because
one.
you don't usually like those movies. You get them, but you don't really like. You're not really too into them. Like Paranorman and everything, they were good for you. Box Trolls, kind of weird, but good for you.
Yeah.
But this one is just like, I don't know what they did. It was just the Japanese style of it that just made it amazing.
This is that company's masterpiece.
Yeah.
Like, unless they come out with something better, which it'd be hard to top this, but it's pretty much their masterpiece.
So it's the new bar for them. It's the new standard.
Pretty much. Yeah, everything else is going to be judged by this. All right, let's get into the other news now that we're done with our reviews, and let's go on to another review. Okay, all right then. We're going to review the Rogue One trailer,
Yeah,
which dropped the second Rogue One.
We don't
during
even
the
have to
Olympics.
review
It's
it.
not a review. This is
just
us being a geek about it.
I guess that's true. Yeah, I loved it. I'm so excited for it. I called Alan Tudyk's character in it, by the way. I knew he was going to be playing the voice of the robot and nothing else.
Which is so awesome.
Yes, he plays a good robot voice. If you don't know Alan Tudyk, he played Duke Wesselton.
Yep.
And he also played Sonny in iRobot.
Right.
Yeah. What do you think of it, Dylan?
I loved it. I think I'm a little bit more excited for this than I am for actually when I was excited for Force Awakens.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because the Jedi are missing in this story. It's not about the Skywalker family. This is a war-torn galaxy, and it's a gritty war drama, and that looks awesome.
Exactly.
And I'm intrigued by that.
Yeah.
I've said this to Corey many times. I'll probably say it to you as well, and anyone else listening, of course. I am tired of Star Wars' magic.
Star Wars being a fantasy space opera.
It is a fantasy space opera, and being a sci-fi geek, you'd think that Star Wars would be... No, it's okay. I could take it or leave it. The Force Awakens was really good. I loved it. But again, it's all the Force. Magic.
Yeah.
Magic in the world solves all the problems.
Scott doesn't like peanut butter in his chocolate.
But I do.
He doesn't like fantasy peanut butter in his sci-fi
Rogue One
chocolate.
looks like a... Don't. There's no Force in it. You know?
There is,
but not much.
Yeah.
Not like the first three or the prequels had a ton of it.
I think the point is that they don't focus on the Jedi, and that's the big point.
And I want to know what happened to the rest of the galaxy, not just these select few people in this one little remote corner somewhere doing things. Because they always talk about like the Empire's, subjugating the whole galaxy,
but you never see that.
You see like 2 whole planets, a moon, and the Death Star, and that's it. And that's it. And then you also see Tatooine, which also has the Empire has like no footing there whatsoever.
No, yeah, because it's on the Outer Rim. They're not going to be able to take care of that.
Just like Jakku
in
Force Awakens. So I got a question for you guys.
Okay,
Rey, aka Daisy Ridley, or Jyn Erso, Felicity Jones,
the new one.
Yes, from Rogue One. Who do you think is going to be the better female main character?
It really depends on how they play Jyn. Like, is she going to be another quote-unquote Mary Sue? Which I don't agree with Rey being a Mary Sue. I've got a blog post describing that I don't agree.
Think she is. I don't know any Mary Sues that freaking are ninjas.
Yeah,
I don't know any of that.
Well, so the idea of a Mary Sue is this character that has the answer to everything, right? That always can do whatever is needed to be done, and it's described in D&D as the girlfriend of the DM who comes in and they reach a situation and the girlfriend goes, "Oh, I just remembered I have fairy wings, so I can fly over this ledge that we need to get over, and I'm strong enough to carry you all." And the GM goes, yeah, can I get some later tonight?
Yeah,
that's all he does in regards to that. But for
Rey's
movies,
whole Mary Sue-ness is the fact that she's a very, very in tune to the Force.
Yeah. That
And
she
she's
can
been
perform the
surviving on
mind
her own
trick.
since, what,
Yeah,
3,
exactly.